what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay? Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away.
Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
This is that shit that you bump in the ride. Don't listen to lyrics, just fuck with the vibe. I can say anything you wouldn't mind. Like 10 pennies, I change up on a dime. I'm pretty diverse. Got a good sense of just how much I'm worth. Just haven't been heard by that person preferred. This ought to do it, I need that referral. It's a cold world. I feel like Gucci go bird. Put on a sweatshirt like Earl. We fairly odd, our future is broad. PSG mob, ASAP, how we need all the guap. Got my dudes doing head nods. Yep. Anyone else is a deja vu of themselves. I can outdo myself on the next song. It cannot be done. You can ask my mom. I'm the prodigal son. I don't keep old flows, not one. I make a hit and run. Stack my paper like a mailman truck because it's all about the funds now. My girls just wanna have fun now. They deserve to be so uptown. We came from living on the edge. It was rough around, so we run the town. Little old me, just 100.
Welcome, Duval. Jacksonville Jaguar, the pregame show, the Jags Nation. So I am Ray Cruz. I am your host for tonight. We're going to break down the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday at 1 o'clock at Everbank Field. Yes, we got the Everbank Field back, not TIAA Bank. That was a tongue twister for me, but I'm glad we got it back to, Everbank Field. Well, Everbank Stadium now, but Jacksonville Jaguars. Right now, we're going to talk about this team here. We're going to talk about Jacksonville Jaguars a little bit here before we get into the breakdown part of the show. Jacksonville last week played Kansas City. Didn't go our favor. Didn't go our way. We had opportunities after opportunities in the red zone. Trevor Lawrence missed high and low out of the end zone. Not pretty. Not a pretty game. Defense played great. Defense kept us in the game. You had to settle for field goals. You're not going to be a Kansas City team in field goals. I told you before that game started on Red Kingdom, and I said it again in Jags Nation that night, on Saturday night before the game, that field goal will not win against Kansas City, and that's what we ended up doing. We ended up not getting in the red zone. We got to be better on third down conversions, against Kansas City. The third down conversion really killed us in that football game. I'm going to take a little bit of time here, go through a little bit of the stats here for that game. Kansas City had 399 total yards, so I had 271. Kansas City, we turned Kansas City over 3 times. We turned it over once. They still won the football game, but we beat them in the turnover battle. First down, they had 19. We had 18. Time of possession was 31 minutes and 49 seconds for Kansas City, 28-11 for us. And yes, the game was the hottest game ever played at TIAA Stadium. It felt like it was 100 degrees in the stand, 120 on the field. That's according to what the broadcaster and what I heard over the local radio station here in Jacksonville, that it was a brutal game. It was hot out there on that game, but Kansas City withstood that time. Well, let's take a little bit of the breakdown of the stats here, and this is the key of the stats of the games here. Fourth down, Mahomes were 2 for 2 on fourth down. We were 0 for 2 on fourth down. We were 3 and 12. They were 4 and 13. So both teams were miserable on third down conversion, and fourth down was perfectly for Mahomes and them. They had 10 total drive. We had 11 drives. Trevor Lawrence only threw for 197 yards. He's got to be better. He's got to be better than that. 23 out of 42. Mahomes was 29 out of 41, 298 yards. Rushing. We had 18. We had 18 rushings. Attempts 4.1 yards. We had 74 yards rushing. They had 101. Once again, I told you they had 2 fumbles for losses and 1 interception. We had 1 fumble for loss. Other than that, That third down conversion, we got to get better. We got to get better in the red zone. We had plenty of opportunities in the red zone. We did not execute what we needed to execute in that red zone area. So I mean, that's something that we got to really, really look at here coming into that ball game coming in here against Houston. We're gonna go through some of the injury reports here in a few minutes. Attendance was 69,615. The capacity was 6,858. We had more than what the capacity was for that ball game. We had a big crowd in that game. We had a lot of Kansas City fans. We had a lot of Jacksonville Jaguar fans. We know coming into the season that we had to get better on third down conversion. We had to get better in the red zone. We had to get better all over the place here in this area that we needed to, that we're going to talk about here. So I mean, if you look at the total capacity of this thing, the total atmosphere, we lost by one possession game. We lost the playoffs by one possession game. We haven't gotten better up to Kansas City. Our defense played outstanding football. Can't ask no better than what our defense played. Our offense has to match our defense now. We have to get a complete game going here. That's one thing we have to get here in this ball game coming up. We have to get it in a complete football game. We have got to play a complete game. If we can play a complete game against Texans, come out of here with a victory. Now, we can't do it like we did last year. Remember, the Texans came in, Jacksonville was favored, and Texans held it all to us. Can't do that. We have to break this losing streak that we have against the Houston Texans here in Jacksonville. I think we have lost the last 5 meetings against Houston here in Jacksonville alone. So we got to get better. It's supposed to be the year that the Jacksonville Jaguars take the next step up. Trevor Lawrence got to take that next step up. Jacksonville is going to go as Trevor Lawrence takes us. Passing game, running game has got to be. Our offensive line's got to be a little bit better. Opening up some lanes for the running back, for Travis Etienne. Wide receivers got to catch the ball. We got to find a way to get the ball into. Got to find a way to get the ball to Wrigley a little bit more. Kirk's got to stop dropping passes and keep crucial key moments of ball games. I know it's still early in the season. We're still getting some rust off. We're still getting all the stuff. But now your first game, you took a step. You played a great, you didn't play a smooth game against the Colts, but you played to win. Week 2, we had to take another step up. Every week is taking another step up to the next level. What can Jacksonville be in the next level? What can we do? We have to take a next step. This week, we need to concentrate getting better on third downs, way better on the red zones. We got to stop settling for field goals when we get into the red zone. We had 2 key opportunities to get touchdowns. Ball was going too far out of bounds. Couldn't get the feet in, get the 2 feet in. But we got to get better on these things. And Doug Peterson has to figure out a way how we get better in the red zone. When we get down and we got to score touchdowns, quick kicking field goals in that red zone area. That kills us half the time. When you look at the time that you're talking about, looking at red zone time, looking at the barometer of times, what you want to do is technically from the 25 on in, you want to score touchdowns. Only time you really want to kick a field goal if you're outside of the red zone. Basically, if you're back out of the red zone, that's the times you need to kick field goals to get points. But when you get in that red zone has to turn into touchdown manufacturers. We cannot beat teams by just kicking field goals in the red zone. We have to score touchdowns. We have to find a way to score. So that's the key of this thing here we got to look at against Houston coming up tomorrow. Got to put this game behind Kansas City. If you really look at it, we scored 9 points. Lost by a touchdown and 2-point conversion. They scored 2 touchdowns. We manufactured 3 field goals. That was the difference in this ball game. So we have to put this game away. I just want to touch a little bit of basis on that game. I want to let's turn our attention to the Houston Texans that's coming into Jacksonville. Now we got to turn our attentions here. We got to see when we're talking about this next game here. The next game is against the Texans. So we got to come up with a way, a scheme, try to make the mental block of beating the Texans here in Jacksonville. Like I said, I think we lost our last 5 games here in Jacksonville against the Houston Texans. If you look at the matchup predictor, we are favored again. 71.2%, according to the ESPN analytics of their matchup predicted part, what I'm reading off of right now, is 71.2% for Jacksonville Jaguars, 28.6% for the Houston Texans. We're now playing another rookie quarterback in C.J. Stroud, the Houston Texans first-round pick out of Ohio State. If you look at his stats right now, he's 58 completions out of 91 attempts, 626 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has not thrown an interception. If you look at the rushing here for Houston is Pierce. He's got 26 carries for 69 yards. And then their leading receiver is with 13 receptions, 226 yards is Collins. So those are the key players that we got to look at right now on the offensive side that we got to try to take away from C.J. Stroud. We got to mix it up. Our defense has got to mix it up a little bit to confuse the rookie quarterback. Throw something that he doesn't recognize. So throw some schemes in there that he doesn't articulate very well, because he can throw the deep ball very well. I know Anthony Richardson for the Colts gave us fits on the run. We broke down some of that in that game. We broke some in that first game. Completely lost our offensive mentality against Kansas City. This is a team that we should win. We should beat. But once again, it looks great on paper. But we have to get on the field and play. We have to turn what it looks great on paper to what's on the field. And that's going to be the key of the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend on Sunday. Have to figure a way, stop C.J. Stroud, where we can cut his minimum plays down, confuse the rookie quarterback, get in there and get some sacks. That's something that we have to really, really look at here in Jacksonville. We really have to look at getting more sacks. Josh Allen needs to step up. Wells needs to step up and try to draw pressure. We got to get pressure on him. We cannot have a quarterback sitting there picking us apart. If you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence is 46 out of 73, 457 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Travis Etienne has carried the ball 30 times, 117 yards, and 1 touchdown. Calvin Ridley had 10 receptions, 133 yards, and 1 touchdown through 2 games. We have to find a way to get him the football. Corey Stinger is out. Griffin's in for the Kansas City Chiefs. We got to take advantage of that. We know that Griffin can't really cover. We got to take advantage. Hopefully he's matching up against Wrigley. He's matched up against Kirk. Kirk got to catch the football. That's got to be the key. Kirk has to catch the football if it's thrown to him. He had too many drops against Kansas City. He wasn't involved in the game plan really in Indianapolis. You have to get him involved a little bit more. If you look at the Houston Texans injured list, Denzel Perryman, the linebacker, he's out. Jalen Petrie, the safety, he's out. Trevon Thomas, the cornerback, he's out. Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback, IR. And then just recently announced is Laramie Tunsil, the offensive tackle, he's out for the game. So they got some key players that are going to be out in this ballgame. We got to take advantage of some of these key outs here. We got to take advantage of some of the backups. Jacksonville Jaguars is questionable as Andrew Wingard, safety. He's questionable. Zay Jones, wide receiver, he's out. Josh Allen, linebacker, he's questionable. Kosicki, defensive tackle, questionable. Antonio Johnson, safety, he's out. So that's the key outs for the Jacksonville Jaguars in this ballgame. That's key injuries for the Jaguars. Have to get better at these plays. We have to get next man steps up. The Houston Texans. They lost to Baltimore 25-9. They lost to Indianapolis Colts 31-20. We beat the Colts 31-21. We lost to Kansas City last week 17-9. We got to get our mojo back what we had in the preseason. We got to get that back in regular season time. This is now your third game of the season. You should be hitting a little bit of your stride now in this game. We should see a little bit more accuracy from Lawrence. We should see a little bit more offensive game planning. You need to get back that. You lose football games when you don't convert on third downs half the time. You lose ball games when you don't convert touchdowns when you get in that red zone. We have to figure that out. We have to figure out those two key elements that are relying on field goals at that point. So we have to really tell that way this game has got to be figured out and executed here in this kind of a ball game type deal. You have to bring that piece of element in. So if you're looking at what we got to do here in this ball game, we got a lot of stuff we got to do. We got to run the football. We have to control the clock, the time of possession. You have to control the clock. We have to be methodical going down the field. We have to look at what we need to do here in this ball game. Let's take a little bit of something here. You know, the AFC rivalries, Texans and Jaguars looking for better offense after ugly performance. Plain and simple. Great headline right there. That was a great headline. When I'm on my notes. They said it. They said exactly what they need to do here. Is we played ugly football. We need to check the ugliness out. We need to make it pretty football. We need to make it like Mozart. One of the great composers. Music very elegant, very mellow, very on cue. We have to perform like we are doing a masterpiece. We got to perform the way we need to perform. We need to get back to the winning ways. We need to get back to a Trevor Lawrence throwing the football, making completions, keeping the game plan, execution, alleviate some of the mistakes that we made, play better football. That's something we got to really understand here in Jacksonville. That piece of thing that we have really need to figure it all out. Sorry about that. We really got to understand the time of the essence here in this ball game. We got to really figure out some of the key elements in this ball game that we missed out against Kansas City. We got to turn this game around here. If you look at some of the things, the Texans 0-2, we're 1-1. Texans scored 29 points, which ranks 29th in the NFL, and is slightly better than a tie for last with Carolina, Cincinnati, and Las Vegas. The Jaguars are coming off a 9-point showing in their home opener against Kansas City last week, which this is what I'm talking about right here. We are last in the league on third down conversions at 25%. Not going to win football games that way. That has to be up. That has to be in the 20. That has to be in the 50s to 60 range if you want to have a chance to win football games in the NFL. It's this quote from Christian Kirk said massively. It's just a remembering who we are. We are the Jacksonville Jaguars, better than what we were in the past. We got to start acting like we are winners. We have to get that winning mentality, and we have to keep it going. I like the way Doug Peterson has put this team together. I like the way Doug Peterson has come in here, has changed the culture around from a losing culture to a winning culture. We have to execute like we are winners. We're not executing like that. Jacksonville is defending AFC. We are the team to beat in the AFC South. That's my opinion alone. We are the team to beat in the AFC South. You have to be that way. You cannot say, "Oh, okay, we're not the team to beat." We have to put it in ourselves to believe that we are the team to beat in the AFC South. Optimistic in the season, we're averaging 30 points a game after returning 9 offensive starters, adding a standout wide receiver in Calvin Ridley, and being in the second year of Doug Peterson's offense. But the Jaguars scored 17 points in the opener at Indianapolis before rallying with 2 touchdowns in the final 6 minutes. In the second one coming off a turnover. And they were completely out of sorts. Once again, that's a word, out of sorts against Kansas City. I don't know what's going on when we play a top-tier team like Kansas City. That's your measuring stick. Kansas City is your measuring stick. Former champions. World champions. Super Bowl champions. You have to compare yourself to the teams that won the Super Bowl like Kansas City last year. You have to take advantage when you have advantage that you have. We had 3 turnovers right there. And we settled for some field goals. We went for it on 4th down. And the one key play, I don't know, we should have gone for that 4th and 5. Or we could have gone into halftime. But no, we went for it on 4th and 5 and gave Kansas City the opportunity to score a touchdown to take the lead at halftime, 7-6. We have to play smarter football. We have to play methodically a game within a game. What I mean by with the game within a game is we have to be better on the 3rd down conversions and red zone conversions. We have to be better. It's no ifs, no ands, it's no buts. We start this Sunday becoming the Jacksonville Jaguars winning football games. We start this year now. We have to. We cannot let the Houston Texans come in here and start playing with us and get that confidence like they did last year. These are the games that we should win. We should win our home games. You have to win more home games in the NFL than you do anything else. You have to defend your hometown turf. We got to stop having teams coming here and beating us in Jacksonville. We have to make this a true home field advantage for us. We have key elements. We have the heat. Teams are not conditioned to come in here when it's hot. We have to take advantage of that. Didn't do it on Sunday. Didn't do it last Sunday. You have to do it this Sunday. Kevin Ridley went out and said this in the media. Just make plays. Make the blocks. Make the catch. Just do what we do. Just do what we do honestly. We got what we need. We just need to execute better. Now, this game is not a gimme. And whatever what sort you think it is, it's not a gimme. This game is never going to be a gimme. Rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud, second overall pick, threw for 384 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Colts last Sunday. He can throw the football. He can spin that ball. He can spin the football. He can make NFL throws. Got one of the prettiest deep balls. We have to make them feel uncomfortable. How you make him feel uncomfortable? Putting pressure on him, stacking him, hitting him. You got to do that. You got to figure that out. We have to put pressure on C.J. Stroud. We cannot have him back there picking us apart. He's a better thrower than Anthony Richardson. Damian Pierce only managed 31 yards and 15 carries in that ball game. We have to stimulate the run. We can make them a one-dimensional team that could give us some pressure. But we got to have that. We got to have that situation contained. C.J. Stroud has been sacked NFL high 11 times already. 11 times he's been sacked. Let's come on, Jacksonville. We got to make some more sacks. While playing behind a line that is diminished by injuries, Houston lost 4 starting offensive linemen to injuries in camp and played without 3-time Pro Bowl left tackle Laremy Tunsil, knee last week. He's out this week. DeMeco Ryan says, this is a quote from the Texans head coach, it's all about the protection. We got to make him feel uncomfortable. We got to demolish that offensive line. We got to set the line of scrimmage by our defense. Playing in their backfield. Resetting the line of scrimmage. Playing in their backfield. We cannot have what we think we can have. We cannot have that. If you overshadow this, what we got to look for our defense. Our defense has got to be. It's got to be another good performance. It's got to be an awesome performance like they did against Kansas City. We cannot play up for one team. We got to play up. We got to continue what we did on the defensive side. We got to reduplicate that. We got to reciprocate that. We got to smother them. The one thing I don't like about our defense. We got to figure out how to jam the wide receivers. They're getting too much free release off the line of scrimmage. You play in this league in the NFL, and you let them get a free off the line, you're getting beat already. You're getting beat already. You already put yourself in a disadvantage when you're backing 5-10 yards off. I know you got to respect the speed. But you got to get the corners got to get their confidence saying, hey, I'm better than you. I'm going to jam you. I'm going to take you off your route. Because you got that 5-yard jamming, utilize it. You want to offset their timing by their quarterback by disrupting the off the line of scrimmage, that 5-yard buffer. You have 5 yards to jam. Use it. We have to be the aggressor, not letting them dictate what they're going to do to us. Jacksonville defense would probably be the talk of the town had the Jaguars beaten Kansas City. Unit held Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Kelsey in check most of the game and surrendered only 17 points to the defending Super Bowl champions. The defense was adequately impressive in week 1, giving up 14 points to the Colts. Quote from Josh Allen, the linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars: "We're doing what we need to do to win every game. We know what we can do, but we won't put it on a divisional rivals." Jacksonville ended a 9-game losing streak against Houston in January. Nevertheless, the Texans has won 15 of the past 18 meetings, 20 of the past 25, a staggering stretch of lopsidedness considering the NFL penchant for so you got to look into this. Houston wide receiver John Mechie III makes his NFL debut last week after missing his entire rookie season while undergoing treatment for leukemia and sitting out of the opener with a hamstring injury. He said that he was about 15% of the offensive snap against Colts, caught one pass for 17 yards. The Texans will look to get him more involved as the season progressed, but Ryan said it will be in progress. So you got to worry about Minchie now. The third. If you look at the Caesar Sports book, the over and under here, Jacksonville is favored by 7.5 points. The over and under is 43.5. So that's something that you got to really think. And they're calling for rain tomorrow. So the forecast tomorrow, it looks like it's going to be rain here. Let me check the weather here real quick here tomorrow. Let's see what it's going to be. Here by game time. Let me see, 1 o'clock. You got to get down here to 1 o'clock. Game time here situation. At 1 o'clock, it's going to be mostly sunny, 89 degrees. It's going to feel like 97 degrees. But 2% humidity with water in the forecast here. Real shade temperature is going to be 89 degrees. Wind's going to be out of the east, 7 miles per hour. Max UVA index is going to be 7. It's going to be high. And winds gusts to 9 miles per hour. Humidity is going to be 45. The dew point is 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Cloud cover is going to be 20%. Visibility is going to be 10 miles. Cloud ceiling is going to be 30,000 feet. There you go. You get it there. You get it all here in Jacksonville on the Jags Nation weather forecast. So my advice: bring your sunscreen. You got the pass to the pool. Bring your swimsuit. Get in the pool. Watch the game from the pool. Let me check a little bit here on what we're looking at here. I think I covered most everything that we need to discuss about this game here. We have to force ourselves. Now, if we look at this, we got to dominate the game. Offensive line's got to push. Got to set the line of scrimmage, take the defense and reestablish that line of scrimmage on the defensive side. Moving down the field. All control offense. Pass when we need to pass. Run the football. Third down can make the. This is what you really want to. If you really want to have a successful offense, we need to live on third and short. We need to gain 4 yards every play to get the first down. If you do that, we're gonna have effective offense. We cannot have mental mistakes of getting behind the chains. We're not that good yet. We're not that to come back and take from what minimum mistakes we make and try to turn it over. We're not like Kansas City. Kansas City had 3 turnovers and they still won the football game. Because they can make errors, but they know how to come back from making those errors. We have not figured that out yet. That's got to be the key that we really got to look at here in this situation. We got to dictate what we need to dictate here at home against Houston. If we can successfully sustain our home field, and then steal some games on the road like we did in Indianapolis. We will have a great season. We'll have a playoff season again. But we got to take the frustration that we had against them and turn it into a positive. You got to turn our stuff in. When we get them to turn the ball over, we have to execute touchdowns on the turnovers, not field goals. I cannot reiterate what I'm talking about here on the time of the counter. We have to iterate what we didn't do last week against Kansas City and turn that around and look at the game film. Find out what mistakes we made. Correct those mistakes. Learn from them mistakes. So we won't do the same mistakes again this week. We really have to turn ourselves around on this. This has to be a thing that the Jags Nation has to look at. Christian Kirk has to be more of a factor in this game since Jay Jones is out. No ifs and no buts. Next man up. You have to figure this out, and you got to correct what we need to correct. We all know what we need to do. Third down, touchdown, red zone. Point blank. You're learning this stuff since Pop Warner football. Going to middle school. You're learning that. High school, you learned it. College, you keep going to learn it. There's nothing new I'll get about the game of football, but you're playing against grown men. Same concept that they had back in the day, back in high school, college, all that. Line of scrimmage is same distance. It is 10. It is 10 yards for a first down. Nothing changed. Logic is you run the football, stay in third and short. If you get in a third down situation, you got to be in short so the other team cannot tee off. You still have that full playbook in that arsenal. It's when you get back deep. What I'm saying, when you get back deep, you're letting the other teams dictate what we need to do. They know we're gonna pass the ball. They know they're gonna come after us. They're gonna be full of steam. But we have to counteract that. That's something that we really have to understand in this concept of football. The concept of strategy. Not complicated. We need to score and score often. One of the analogies that you have is first 5 minutes of a ball game, the last 5 minutes of 5 minutes before halftime, 5 minutes coming out of halftime, and the last 5 minutes of a football game. We have to win those points on those particular things. We cannot have the other football team dictate that. We have to change our mindsets here. It's all mental. We have to block out the naysayers. We have to block out the other team. The trash talking. We have to block it out. Trevor Lawrence throws a pick. He has to block that out and come back and be better in the next possession. Offensive line, you give up a sack. You got to come back out and be better than what you are. You have to be better than what you really are to do what you need to do. Plain and simple. You got to figure that complicity out, that game plan out. You got to really configure yourself in that situation. Now, before I get out of here for the night, because we'll be back tomorrow night at 9:30. Reaction show from the game on Sunday here at Jags Nation on the All Sports All Plays Network. The key of the games for this game is win third down, win the fourth down, win the red zone, win the turnover battles. Time of possession is going to be a key for us. Run the football, ground game football, ground game everything. You have to turn the negative in what you did last week into a positive this week. Learn from it. Wrigley has to step up a little bit more. Kirk has to step up. Kirk is going to be the key in this ball game because they're going to try to take Wrigley out. A double team Wrigley and letting somebody else beat us. Zay Jones is not there. He's out for the game. Next man up. He's got to be in there. Key to victory is win the turnover battle, you win the touchdown battle, win the third down conversions, and you win that time of possession to win football game. My pick, the final score is going to be Jacksonville 34, Houston Party 14. But don't take it to the bank and don't bet on that prediction. But I have a feeling that Jacksonville is going to come from a better game plan this week and executing better this week, pulling out the victory against Houston. Now, remember, Houston came in here that last year with a losing record and beat us. They have won the last 5 meetings here. We got to turn that around. We got to break that streak here on Sunday, tomorrow. I am Ray Cruz. This is Jags Nation on the All Sports All Plays Network. In the morning at 10 o'clock on the All Sports All Plays Network, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the Touchdown Crew will be here to break down all the football games on Sunday. Coach Bennett, Charles, and the Touchdown Crew going in at 10 a.m. on Sunday. And let's go, Jags. Duval.